The 759th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up with promo code MMASGPN to get a 50% deposit bonus of up to $1,000. And we're also brought to you by Edge Boost. Earn up to $750 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Just go to edgeboost.bet and use promo code SGPN. And finally, we're brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data-driven picks and props. Get your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM.
Howdy ho, DeGenerinos. Welcome to episode 759 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Orange Chicken Meow, which is a great name. Orange Chicken Meow on YouTube wants to know, is Gumby related? Is Gumby related to Colby Dant? I don't know if that's a diss or if that's a legit question. Are you related to Colby? No, you're not related to Colby.
I'm not.
I'm
not. I don't even. No, not at all. But
interesting.
Do you feel like it's a diss?
I don't know. Some people don't like Colby. I like Colby. I don't know. Maybe it's a diss. Maybe it's a legit question. I just assume anything in YouTube is a diss for us. So that's all. Nothing against.
I don't know. We get a lot of nice. We get a lot of nice people on YouTube.
Shockingly so.
They're kind to us.
It's true. I am one of your hosts, Slava Fox. The other gentleman we're talking to would be Danny Gumverlin. Not related. He has a lot of brothers, but Colby is not one of his brothers, nor his dad or anything, or husband or anything like that. We're here for KSW 103. Liberec, Czech Republic is where it's going down. We're going to give you all the winning picks. This one is happening a week from Friday. We have a plethora of events next week, not as many this coming weekend, so we are ahead of the crowd. Yet there are some odds for these fights. Do you see that, Gumby?
I did see that. One of them surprised me. One of them didn't surprise me. Yeah.
Well, what do you think of this card? It doesn't seem like a super stacked fight card. Not that it matters.
There's a couple of fun prospects on there, but I would say KSW tends to like load up their big Polish shows or stuff like that, and then when they hit the road, it's almost like how the UFC used to do it. Like when they were in Vegas, it was a big show. When they were in Miami, it was a big show, and then occasionally they'd be in Norfolk, Virginia,
South Dakota, or North Dakota. Did they go to North and South?
I think they went to. Was that the one that happened on a Thursday? Remember that one? I want to say Michael McDonald fought on that card.
Yeah, I think he was main eventing. I think you're right. McDonald versus might have been what's his face? Yes, that's what I was gonna say. Lineker. Yeah. Wow, look at us, sickos. But KSW is a fun watch regardless of whether there's massive names in the card, and it's going to be profitable because Gumby knows about all this stuff. So before we dive into for Orange Chicken Meow and the rest of the fans out there, football is over. Wham wham. Bear. Football is never really over for you Americans. It's always football in your brains at least. But NASCAR is back. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona to sign up today for their free Daytona 500 contest to be entered to win $100 in cold hard cash plus a $100 SGPN gift card plus random bonus prizes. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Daytona to sign up today. Boom. All right. Let's get into they're giving away prizes. We're giving away free picks here for you that you're going to win on. So Liberec or Liberec, I'm not sure, in Czech Republic, February the 21st. That's a Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. So a DeGen special once again. In the home credit arena, 9 fights. Gummy's got in-depth picks. I guess I do too. I help him out on 5 of them, and then we're going to give you lightning round picks on the rest of them. We're kicking things off with let's move down the card. Alfan, Rocher-Labes or Labes or Labe.
I think it's Labe.
Labe, yeah, he's French. Everything ends in lay or bay. Oleksii, Polischuck from the Ukraine. 3 5-minute rounds, and they are fighting at 135. We'll tell you about Polischuck first. 12-5, 3 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been submitted 3 times. 2-2 in KSW, 2-1 over his last 3, 5-2 over his last 7. Got submitted in his last fight. Was regional champ. He's fed at 145, 3 inches reach over Rocher-Labes. That's much funner to say. Rocher-Labes is 11-3, 2 knockouts, 4 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 1-1 in KSW, 6-1 over his last 7. Won his last fight. Regional champion. Used to fight at 145. A year younger than Polischuck, an inch taller.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rocher-Labes. This is one of the
Rocher-Labes.
fights that does not have odds. I'm gonna guess like negative 175 on him. Bottom line is this dude cracks on the feet. I'm so impressed by the amount of power this dude generates at 135 pounds. His last fight, which was his last fight that I was watching, or 2 fights ago, knockout victory. Hit a check left hook and dropped his opponent early. The opponent eventually worked his way back up, hit him with a right hand, and he wasn't getting up from the second one. So, like Rocher-Labes, like it's a combination of generating a wild amount of power, but also like he cuts really smart angles. Like his footwork's good, so he's hitting you from angles that he knows are going to do damage and makes it really hard to counter. I like all that stuff on the feet for him. And then on the other side, like Polischuck has kind of got like fun submission skills, but I don't know so much about his wrestling. I've seen some fights where his wrestling looks good, and then I've seen some fights where he's fighting somebody with the slightest bit of takedown defense or good takedown offense in their own right, and it's there's holes in it. So, like, based on the level of competition, I'm not actually sure if he's a good wrestler or not, but I do know that when he's on the feet, his hands are so low. And against a guy who cuts really great angles and really punishes people when they leave themselves open, I think that's a nightmare. So I'm going to take Rocher-Labes, and my guess is like high 100s.
All right, there you go. Let's move on up the fight card to the next fight. That would be moving on up to 145, up a weight class as well. Josef Štummer, or Štummer, probably is what it is. He is from the Czech Republic. He is up against Nacim Belhouachi from France. So 3 5-minute rounds, 145. Belhouachi is 4-3, 1 knockout, 3 submissions. He's been submitted twice. He owes his rounds. 1-0 in KSW, 3-1 over his last 4. Won his last fight via TKO. He's fed at 155, an inch of height over Štummer. Štummer, 4-2 with 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 2-2 in KSW, loss, win, loss. Got submitted in his last fight. 1-0 as a pro, a grappler.
I think Štummer probably big favorite here. We'll say like negative 300. You can get like plus high 2s on Belhouachi, is my guess. He's 4-3. That never looks good to the books. But I'm actually going to take Belhouachi here. The big piece for me is that, Štummer is a guy who he's like very bouncy on his feet. He uses that to close range. And then a lot of times he enters the range and it seems very much like he wants to be a counterpuncher. So, like, he's done all of the things that make it almost impossible for his opponent to hit him. But then he enters range and kind of doesn't often throw. And if he does, it's usually just one until his opponent throws. And, like, okay, maybe that's not the worst thing in the world that he, like, wants to counterpunch. But, like, it's taking this attribute that he has that is particularly good and it's literally just putting it to waste. Like, why is it there? It's not even important for him to have that skill. So, that's my big issue with Štummer. And then in addition to that, if he fights Belhouachi like that, he enters range and just kind of chills there. Belhouachi is a guy who has got some really nice body lock takedowns. I know he's lost a couple of times by submission. So, like, saying, oh, he's going to get the fight to the ground, it's, kind of sketchy in his own right. But, like, when he dictates what he wants to do on the ground, he's pretty darn good there. And I like the body lock takedowns, like the way that he cuts angles when he's trying to finish those takedowns. And if he's got an opponent just standing in front of him, I think he does well enough with that. The other thing I like is I think Belhouachi's jiu-jitsu, at least offensively, is a little bit better. And so while he will probably be the worst of the 2 strikers, like I think Štummer will probably be much better if if we were just to watch them strike back and forth, like I think Štummer would get the best of it. But like he forgets to throw sometimes and like is going to have to be wary after being taken down once or twice. So I'm going to go with Belhouachi here. I think probably big dog price, and he should be able to get to Štummer.
All right. Don't forget to throw. You always should throw. If you're in a fight, you probably should throw some offense out there.
Yeah. Somebody let Bruna Brazil know that if you could.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Speaking of, she didn't like what was coming back at her either for a while there, right? She started like turning around and
when we were talking underdog fantasy entries over the course of the week, I said, her higher than on her significant strikes was 40.5. And I was like, if this goes 15 minutes, how would she not get that? Oh, she didn't. She didn't.
Did she even hit double digits? Barely.
Oh, she got 30, 31 or something like that. Okay. So, she came up short, but like, it was a 15-minute fight. That means she was landing 2 punches a minute.
Yeah.
This isn't a Bruno Brazil podcast.
We like Bruno Brazil too.
I love Bruno Brazil.
Disappointing. Yeah, she didn't seem to like that power either.
And that's pretty much been. Oh man, I'm so sorry we're breaking this down right now for everybody who's like, I just want to hear what's going on in there.
They can skip ahead.
but that's pretty much all of her wins and losses, right? Is that when she feels comfortable, she torches people, and when she doesn't feel comfortable, she forgets to throw and gets caught.
Yeah, I think a lot of people aren't going to feel comfortable with Wang Kong. She seems to have unusual power for the weight class. So, no shame in there. All right, we're already to the third from the top in this here KSW card. Dominik Humburger for Czech Republic versus Borys Dzikowski from Poland. 3 5-minute rounds, 185. Dzikowski is 4-1 with 2 knockouts. He's never been finished in a fight. He did win his last fight. He's lost a fight July 2023. A year younger than Humburger. 2 inches height, 2 inches of reach, plus 155. We have odds. Humburger 8-2 with 7 knockouts. Never been finished in a fight. 3-2 in KSW. Loss, win, loss. Or his last 3. Regional champ. You spent at 205 minus 242. Was this the one you were surprised about?
No. I expected Humburger to be a favorite. Maybe not quite. I think originally I had written down -200 for Humburger, so it's a little higher than I thought it was going to be. But I'm going to go Humburger here. He does really well with range. He's one of those guys who uses like low hands, and you're like, that's stupid. You're gonna get hit. But he bounces in and out of range pretty well. And in addition to that, too, he it clearly is like an addition to his power, because like that's why people carry their hands low, right? Is it generates more power. Sometimes it's like a little sneakier. People don't see it coming. It's unconventional. It clearly adds to his power. And like he's done a good enough job not letting it like tragically affect his defense in a way that would like really, really, handicap him in the future. And then, for me, the other thing I would say about Dzikowski is like he's powerful in a very different way, in a like wind up, you're going to see this punch coming from 6 miles away kind of way. He's powerful, but it's sloppy. And so like up against a guy who's going to keep his hands low and dance in and out. And, I don't think Dzikowski is going to have any chance to tag him. I think you're going to see a lot of swing and miss out of Dzikowski. And I think Humburger is going to, absolutely piece him up. Now, I'll also say just randomly in here, because I don't know the answer to this, Dzikowski, I have not seen wrestle very much in his career. I think because he has got this like big brute who brawls kind of style. And Humburger has had a little bit of an issue with takedowns in the past. So like I am throwing in a minor caveat in there that if Dzikowski comes in and is like a apt wrestler that I just didn't know about, despite, trying to watch as much of him as I could, it could be a problem for Humburger, but I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So bottom line is I'm going to go Humburger.
Yeah. Cool. I was hoping it was a Bruno Brazil caveat you had, but no, that's fine.
No.
All right. Before we power on to the last 2 fights and the lightning round, don't forget about that Edge Boost. SGPN has partnered up with Edge Boost, the premier Visa debit card for bettors. An Edge Boost card allows you to avoid the hassle of having your card denied at the sportsbook, DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, or casino. Plus, you can earn up to $750 per month in cashback rewards for using your Edge Boost card. And your money is safe as the card is FDIC insured. The best part is no credit checks and it's completely free. Sign up today and use the promo code SGPN so you get better cashback rewards and instant tier 2 status. Make sure, obviously, use your Edge Boost card for Al Horford plays. That's what this podcast is all about. Make sure you go to edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN, edgeboost.bet, promo code SGPN. And we're brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, plus props for every game and the live dealer casino. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposits, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Obviously, you're going to want to get on all the Al Horford prop bets you can get, but they have MMA, plenty of MMA lines, so get in on all of that and head to mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. That's MMASGPN. That way you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000 plus a $10 casino chip, and we get to stay in your ears and eyes 5 days a week. So use our code at mybookie.ag, code MMASGPN, and it's a win-win. All right, co-main event is a welterweight fight. Matúš Juráček from Czech Republic, Krystian Kaszubowski, he's got a ski at the end of it. He's from Poland. 3 500 rounds, 170. Kaszubowski is Chris. You can just call him Chris with a K. He is 11-5 with 1 no contest, 3 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once. He also has some finishes. 5-5 in KSW, 1-3 with 1 no contest over his last 5, 4-5, 1 no contest over his last 10. Got submitted in his last fight. Used to fight at middleweight, 2013 pro MMA debut, plus 121. Juráček, 11-4, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once, 1-1 KSW, 2-1 over his last 3, 8-2 over his last 10. Did lose his last fight though. Used to fight at middleweight, 2012 pro MMA debut, 1-0 as a pro boxer, 4-inch height, 5 inches reach over. Kaszubowski, minus 184. His nickname should be Park. Don't you think? Juráček Park?
See what he did there.
Hey, there's the real laugh.
Yeah,
I got a real laugh there. Yeah. I think you're laughing at me, not with me. But
yeah,
anyhow, go ahead.
That's an edgy situation. I'm gonna go Kaszubowski. I think for me, while I was breaking down these fights, I watched both of these guys repeatedly, and I just kept being like, are they both just going to give up this takedown here that didn't look very good in the first place? And the answer seemed to be emphatically yes, that they were both just going to give up every takedown. And then I was like, this is like really brutal to watch because like they're both halfway decent on the feet. Like I don't love Kaszubowski's backing up when somebody feints at him repeatedly. Like if somebody repeatedly just gets in his face and keeps feinting, despite the fact that they've never tagged him, he'll back up. And like Juráček might be able to do something about that, but he's like kind of again a fighter who winds up a little bit too much for his own good. And then, like I said, both their takedown defenses were trash. So I just like sat there watching more and more film on both of these two, being like, can I find one reason why I would like to pick either of these guys? And then in one fight, I saw Kaszubowski decide that he was going to offensively wrestle instead of not defensively wrestle, which is what he does in so many of his other fights. And the offensive wrestling game was good. Like I liked the entries. He got in low underneath the hips. He locked his hands nicely. Like I was like, oh, he can like wrestle a little bit. So now I'm like, when I was looking for a path to victory for one of them, I was just like, I need one of these guys to offensively wrestle just a little bit. Like, and I don't even need that much of it. I just need them to offensively wrestle a little bit. And Kaszubowski told me he could do that. I do worry he's going to be on his back foot too much. But then again, Juráček isn't like a big feint type guy. He's a big, I'm going to wind up, but the punch is going to come anyway. And that might be perfect for Kaszubowski to get underneath and get to the leg. So I'm going to say Kaszubowski. I'm going to take the slight dog money on him. I will say, I had handicapped all of these with my own written in odds beforehand. I had Kaszubowski plus 300. I thought he was going to be a big dog here, especially because Juráček is fighting at home. So like, I'm still going to take him at plus money here, but like that slight plus money. But it does make me like, obviously far less enthusiastic if he was plus 300 and like maybe not even willing to pull the trigger. So I'm going to take Kaszubowski maybe by wrestling.
All right. Can you have a Juráček on your podcast and suggest my nickname to him?
I did suggest that Killian Salkill should bark at somebody, and he said he might come out barking if that would help.
Didn't have to.
He didn't really need any help. He
didn't have time.
He finished that fight in 19 seconds. Yes, I did give him your suggestion though.
Thank you. Yes, I was very pumped when I listened to Top Turtle and I heard that. Like, yay! He mentioned the barking, but yeah, that was a flat line. Except it wasn't because Julie wanted to.
I don't think that was a bad stoppage. The ref tried to pull him off, and he kept.
He was trying to wrestle the ref, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's you can say what you want that he was moving or whatever, but he fell a very bad way. And then also like continued wrestling despite being like told to stop.
Yeah, and he probably was like, I wasn't even barked at yet. You can't stop the fight yet.
Yep,
you didn't bark or anything at me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's dive into the main event after I tell you about Underdog Fantasy, NBA, NHL, college basketball, whatever your sport, you can cash in big with Underdog Fantasies. Pick them. Gumby, do you have a play for the peeps?
Yeah, sure. So obviously with football season in the rearview mirror, baseball season not yet here. We're sort of limited. We're somewhat limited in what we got left. So obviously I'm going to go to the hard court, and we will go. Let's go basketball. I actually am going to go with Matúš Buzelis's higher than on his points. He's slowly turning into kind of a force for the Bulls. He looked really good in that game against the Warriors right up until the Warriors decided that they were going to play basketball and perhaps win. And so, I liked how he looked in that game. And, I think moving forward, they're going to be giving him more and more minutes, especially because he's starting now. But, Matúš Buzelis higher than on his points.
All right. So here's what you got to do. Use our code MMA SGPN when you sign up at Underdog. And that way you get to claim a special pick and first time deposit. Offer up to $1,000 in bonus cash. That is Underdog Fantasy, promo code MMA SGPN at Underdog Fantasy. And SGPN's partner Rhythm is the #1 AI-powered sports betting platform that helps provide bettors of all levels the ability to build custom predictive betting models in seconds. Build your own model, copy one of the top performing models from the leaderboard, or have Rhythm build a model for you. They have college basketball. They got NBA. That's all it's going to be said. Not much going on right now, but they usually have NFL picks, NFL props. They'll have baseball stuff when it comes. But more importantly for all of us, Rhythm has it all. But more importantly, they've got Al Horford prop bets. So claim your 7-day free trial today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And then you'll be all set. All right, we are to our main event. Leo Brichta from the Czech Republic. Łukasz Charzewski from Poland. 3 5-minute rounds, 1:45. A lot of skis on this episode. Tell you about Charzewski first. Harry, you can call him Harry. He's Harry. He's 13-2 with 1 no contest, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. Never even finished any fight. 1-1 in KSW. 3-1 over his last 4. 11-1 with 1 no contest over his last. So it'd be 13 fights. Is not lost since December 2023. Regional champ, used to fight at 155 plus 121. Brichta, 12-1 with 1 no contest, 6 knockouts, 4 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 3 times, 2-1 to KSW. He's lost 2 straight. Before that, he went 8-0 with 1 no contest. So he's 0-2 and 8-2 with 1 no contest. Has not won since October 2023. Used to fight at 170, 185. 2-0 in pro kickboxing, 1-0 in pro Muay Thai, 4 inches height, 4 inches of reach, 5 years younger than Charzewski, minus 184.
I'm gonna go Charzewski. I'll take another underdog here. I do, I don't like fading Brichta because I do think he's really exciting. But my big problem with him and his losses recently is that he's really exciting when he decides he's coming forward. When he decides that it's my turn to strike and I'm going to put a pace on somebody or I'm going to go get after it, he's really exciting. He's really dangerous, and he's really fun to watch. And it just hasn't been happening lately. He has decided that he's going to fight from the outside a lot of times. And when he's not first, he's not particularly good. And I don't know that Charzewski is exactly the type of striker that is going to force him to fight off the back foot, but he does have enough his entries into takedowns, both singles and doubles, are good enough that I think if he hits one of those, I think Brichta is going to have a tough time believing in a blitz forward, believing in moving forward like that, because I think it makes him susceptible to getting taken down. So for me, you want to limit a wrestler like Charzewski, you want to limit a guy with good takedowns, you have to be the guy who's on the front foot the whole time. Now, Brichta could do that, and he would be in great situations in terms of grappling and great situations in terms of striking. But it's just he would have been that in his last few fights too if he had done it, and he didn't do it in any of them. So I'm kind of losing faith that that's going to be enough anymore. I'm losing faith that Brichta can do that on a regular scale. So I'm going to take Charzewski here. Not terribly confident, but I do just sort of as a fade of where Brichta is at right now.
Have faith in Harry Gumby. Why would his nickname be Harry? That's another guy you have to get on your show. You got to find out why he's called Harry.
That should be Roman Delize's nickname.
It's not Harry that way, though. That's the thing. It's Harry as in Harold, which is interesting. All right, recap and then lightning round. Charzewski, Kaszubowski. You could have got 3 straight skis, but you didn't. You went with Humburger. No, what did you do with the other fight?
I went Humburger.
Right, Humburger. Rep. Boo. You could have had all Polish play there. All right, so I'll start from the top. Charzewski, Kaszubowski, Humburger, Belhouachi, Rocher-Labes. All right, lightning round. Gumby, do you have any other Zap Bang Boom POW plays for us?
Yeah, I'm gonna take David and David, just in case you're like looking for film on yourself. It's spelled Dawid. Smilialkowski.
Another ski.
Another ski. I like how he looks on the feet, just in general. Like, he's a guy who we've seen a bunch of times in KSW, and he's fought in a couple other regional promotions in Europe that I've seen before, and he was always like kind of a good time on the feet. And then the other one I like is Stephen Kurt. Kurt, again, if you need spelled out for you, is KRT. There aren't any vowels in his name.
Nope, no vowels needed.
Yeah, Stephen Kurt. I just like his KO power, and I know he's sort of spread out his finishes over his professional career. I think it's like 2 subs, 2 decisions, 2 KOs or something like that. But like when he cracks, I'm always like sort of blown away at how much power he generates. And so I kind of like him in a lightning round pick too. So that's Stephen Kurt and David Smilkowski.
The all spelling lightning round for you. All right, you're all set for KSW. So we got you a week ahead. This, of course, this week is all about Hobocop. It's his first main event, right?
Yes, yeah.
It's
not Jared Cannonier's though. Jared Cannonier's had a couple.
I think he's gonna have a few more too, at least in the Apex. So we got UFC starting tomorrow. At least we do. Our show does. Wednesday, Thursday will be the UFC for you. And then you'll be all set for this weekend's action. And then we already did Aries for you for Friday. So you are all set for this weekend. And next weekend, we've already got you started for that one as well. But there's more to come. You can get more of us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord, or in the comments section on our YouTube account, MMA Gambling Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Tell your friends. Or Twitter, SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer there and on Instagram. Get in my Substack. Enter my pick'em contest for the Hobocop Fight Week. That's for free at moneymma.substack.com. Listen to Gumby's other podcast, Top Turtle MMA. You don't have to listen to me. That's a positive. And he has interesting people on, interesting MMA people. I'm going to try to remember. Connor Matthews is one of the people. The other person is Vince Pichel.
So close. Vince Morales.
Vince Morales, right.
Did you hear Vince Pichel's going down a weight class at like 40 years old? Yeah.
Did he shave his mustache? Is that what it is? And then he's like, hey, I'm 10 minutes less.
Well, no, I guess when he moved to Factory X, this is again totally random. When he moved to Factory X, he says like his weight cuts have been so easy because of the people he's working with. That now he's like, I really don't have to cut weight for lightweight anymore. Why not fight at featherweight here at the tail end of his career? So you're about to see Vince Pichel featherweight.
Interesting. Mark Montoya doesn't let people eat. Is that what the key is to factor?
I think it's just that like he's working with like young kids who like make him sweat all the time, and like maybe a nutritionalist too. That's usually the hallmark of a big gym. Yeah.
So there you go. There's your sneak peek. Make sure you listen to the full episode at Top Turtle MMA.
Well, no, I don't have Vince Pichel on.
Oh, that's right. That's right. See, I thought you did. I'm trying to force this to happen. Like I must be his agent. But you have Vince Pichel on there soon. We're at sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Obviously, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon to get bonus content. And as I said, we'll be back tomorrow. Harry, Fox, Chris Freeland with a K. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Not a lot of nicknames.